I put every brawler to the ultimate test to see how fast they can clear the training cave. This includes 4 normal bots, a shooter bot, a whole swarm of mini bots, and a 100,000 health robot, with every ability at their disposal who will come out on top. Shelly starts off by taking out the first 2 boxer bots with clay pigeons and takes out the next 2 with a well-timed hyper super, allowing her to quickly get to the sniper bots. By supering the big bot at the right angle, she can then push it further into the mini bots, making good use of her piercing ability. This puts her in 26th place. Nita throws a hyper bear to the left of her and takes out the remaining bots on the right, including the sniper. Since her attack pierces, she can easily sweep the mini bots in 3 attacks and meet Bruce at the big bot, where together they eventually take 11th place. Fortunately for Colt, a hypercharge attack or a normal super is enough to one-shot a bot with a single ammo, making quick work of the first 5. After taking out the big boss with a few minis with it, Colt gets 14th place. Bull's super and gadget make a deadly combo since they can easily get from place to place. After taking out the first 4, Bull allows himself to get hit by the sniper bot until Berserker is activated. After a few well-aimed supers, he finishes the big bot in 52 seconds, scoring him 49th place. Just like Colt, a hyper Brock shot can one-shot a standard bot. By spamming supers on the big bot and a couple normal ones to take out the minis, Brock can deal a ton of damage in a really short amount of time. The biggest time loss though is at the very end, using a gadget to jump the wall to get to the sniper bots. Despite this, Brock is in the top 10. El Primo's super has just enough range to hit both bots with a single jump, sucking them in and taking them out with one shot. Just like Shelly, Primo can use his supers to break the wall and slowly push the big bot towards the minis, saving time in the air with supers and piercing both at once. He gets 33rd place. Since Barley can lob his shots, he saves a lot of time by not having to travel from place to place. Fortunately for him, a hypercharge attack can take out bots in only one shot. So, with a mix of normal supers and hyper supers, Barley eventually gets in 34th place. While we look at Poco's test, let me tell you about Repeat.gg, the sponsor of today's video. Repeat is hosting their $2,000 Spring Celebration Tournament for Brawl Stars from April 16th to 30th, and it's incredibly easy to enter. All you've got to do is play ranked games like normal and hopefully score higher than Poco in 87th place. Your score is automatically counted by connecting your game ID, and you can even join multiple tournaments at once. Any scores you get for this one or any of their other tournaments will count across every active tournament you have entered at once. Just like the $2,000 prize pool, the top 2,000 players will receive a prize, even if you get 73rd place like Rosa. There are more than $60,000 in regular scheduled tournaments across a ton of games, like Rocket League, Warzone, PUBG, and even Fortnite. And don't worry, you can trust Repeat.gg since it's owned by PlayStation, and they work directly with game publishers for API access, so you can guarantee your information is safe. Repeat.gg is available on all platforms, and I know you can score high in the Spring Celebration Tournament just like Jesse in 21st place. Thank you to Repeat.gg for sponsoring today's video, and let's see how Dynamite's test is going. Dynamite's fidget spinner gadget finally gets a use, able to deal 2,400 damage at the very beginning, letting him one-shot the remaining puncher bots with a normal attack. Making use of its insane splash damage and knockback, he can quickly make work of the remaining robots, placing him in 16th place. Tick makes use of his last hurrah gadget to knock a boxer bot back, giving his super just enough distance to splash both of them and 3 precise attacks to finish the rest. Afterwards, it's just trying to make the most use of each mine, and especially the big ones after a hyper super hits. All of this combined puts him in 25th place. Despite 8-bit's very slow speed, he deals a ton of damage. A few precise hyper attacks and a super allows him to finish off the first 4 and deal considerable damage to the big bot with his hyper super, acting like a Jesse turret. After taking down the sniper bot with a main attack, him and his hyper turret can clear the cave in only 28th place. Rico uses his ball funneling experience wisely, as he's able to precisely use them to squeeze as much value from them as possible. Not only does he save time taking out the sniper bot, but he takes out a couple mini ones as well. This gets him in the top 10. Daryl starts similar to Bull and focuses on trying to get as much value from his rolls as possible. With so much mobility, he can get from section to section very fast. With some precise hits, he can even double hit the boss with his super and deal considerable damage with his gadget at point blank. Though he just is not quick enough, only getting him 47th place. Penny's run is just like Jesse, starting off by dropping her mortar at the very beginning and going to clear the rest. Salty Barrel does come in clutch though, able to deal over 7,000 damage per attack, and her incredible pierce lets her take out the swarm fast. She gets 20th place. Carl absolutely demolishes the training cave, making full use of his super and fire to take out the first 4, making his way up to the sniper and absolutely shred everybody in his way. He scores 24th place. Poor Jackie does not have much going for her. She can use her super to pull every bot into her little radius, but her slow reload time just kills the run. After clearing the swarm, she's able to make use of her counter crush to get a tiny bit more damage onto the big bot, though it still takes forever. She gets 80th place. To nobody's surprise, Gus also takes ages. He needs to precisely shoot each shot to get the most value from each ghost. The coolest thing about him though is his super. Even though it deals no damage, it gives him a 25% damage increase after he uses it, but it also knocks back enemies around him. So by using this mechanic and a few sneaky ghosts, Gus clears this in 83rd place. Bo's aura was just too high, it lied my game, but all he really had to do was spam supers and that's all he needed. The knockback from each mine let the other ones hit and never put any to waste. Bo clears this in 13th place. Ems can easily clear the first 4 bots, but when it comes to the others, she had to get creative. Whenever Ems had to reload ammo, she used her super to chip away at the sniper bot, making sure that no ammo was wasted on the big bot since that dealt the most damage. Ems gets 56th place. Stu was very annoying to make since each super had to be incredibly precise. A couple quick shots take care of the first 2 bots, and a well-timed gadget let him take out the sniper quickly. From here, I had to make sure the bot was constantly on fire and I didn't miss a single mini bot with my hyper super. From here, it was just spamming attacks and supers until he finally died, putting Stu in 69th place. Piper quickly took out the first 4 bots and used her hyper super to move up quickly. Once she had hypercharge, she would move up to the big bot, getting every bomb to land and retreating back for max damage. She repeated this until the very end, landing 3 supers on the remaining mini bots. All of this put her in 38th place. Pam actually does really good. Her super does a consistent 960 damage and Scrapsucker lets her reload all of her ammo almost instantly. Unfortunately, with no hypercharge, she doesn't get any extra abilities to help her out, putting her in 35th place. Frank deals a ton of damage, but his incredibly slow unload time kills him. Fortunately for him, he can use irreversible attraction to pull the big bot towards the mini bots for more value, but otherwise, it's painful to watch. Frank gets 62nd place. BB starts by shooting some very precise bubbles to hit 2 of the 4 bots at a time and finishing them off with a swing. Upon reaching the boss, she knocks him into a very precise spot, allowing for multiple hits with the bubble at a time. I feel this could have been a bit faster, but for now, BB gets 29th place. Rattled Hive is able to take out a single bot at max distance and 2 shots the rest. At the perfect spot, she can get every bee from her super to connect while also letting every Rattled Hive bee connect as well. At the very end, her hypercharge can actually come in handy when dealing with the swarm. She gets 57th place. Nani has a super slow unload and reload speed, but I was able to overcome that by using her super at the right time to allow for a decent bit more damage from her star power while also getting all of her ammo back at the same time. Unfortunately, she takes a bit too long clearing the mini swarm, placing her in 67th place. Edgar has it all. He has good damage, high mobility, and a fast charging attack, but it's just not enough in the long run. In the end, he places 39th place. Good try, Edgar. Maybe next time. Griff, on the other hand, shows a stellar performance. His high damage main attack and piercing cards is a perfect combo. When he got to the big bot, a few well-timed supers and attacks allows him to chain back-to-back supers, absolutely shredding it in the mini bots after. Griff places in the top 10. Grom was easily able to clear the swarmier enemies since around 1 shot would take them out pretty easily, but when it came to the big bot, he started to struggle. X Factor is a good star power, but every shot had to hit at max distance for the most damage, which was very annoying to do. Despite everything, he only places in 51st place. Bonnie's 2 forms are surprisingly useful in this test. Her cannon form makes quick work of the first few bots, and her super and small form are great for clearing the mini ones. Surprisingly, Crash Test actually gets some love here as it deals a ton of damage in a small radius. Unfortunately, her slow reload speed loses her a ton of time when taking out the big bot, and at the end, putting her in 70th place. Gil uses Spring Ejector to shoot him to one side, hyper supering the rest to the other, and easily taking them out at once. Just like the other brawlers so far, Gale can push every bot to one area, dealing considerable damage in a few bursts. Gale places 45th place. Colette is just barely able to nail 4 hyper supers on the first 4 bots and a super paired with a gadget attack on the sniper. Even though this is fast, it slows her down a ton as defeating the boss robot and minis take no time at all. She gets 17th place. Belle is not winning this from the start. She has almost everything going against her and it's not even funny. Quit laughing! She has a normal movement speed, a slow unload speed, and a slow recharge. A few smart gadgets and supers lets her clear it faster than some other brawlers, but it still takes forever. She is ranked 82nd. Ash uses his rats like little kamikaze bombs. They don't deal the most damage, but just do enough to take out the enemies they need to. This lets Ash do most of the damage he needs to the boss, as well as pierce the rest of the mini bots at the end. This gets him 42nd place. Unfortunately, Lola kinda got screwed over here. First, her hyper clone doesn't do enough damage to take out every bot, and when she was taking on down the big bot, sometimes the clone just would not shoot and she had to keep distance from it in order to maximize damage. Despite this, she was able to finish in 54th place. Just like Colette, Sam can shoot off 4 hypercharged supers on the first 4 bots pretty easily and is able to run up the shooter bot quick. When facing the big boss, I made sure he used his weaker form to recharge ammo since it was far quicker that way and dealt a ton of damage with his knuckles equipped. In the end, Sam placed 31st place. Mandy had to be very meticulous, taking out the first bot then proceeding to hollow purple certain points to maximize her hyper super as much as possible. She places in the top 10. Maisie deals a ton of damage with her attack and super, letting her deal tons of single target damage and splash damage quickly. The real star of the show here is her hyper super and gadget, which was able to deal tens of thousands of damage per attack. She places in the top 10. This was recorded before the devious Hank nerf, and thank goodness it was. His hyper super could easily kill the first few bots, and a few precise supers let him destroy the mini bots. Finally, he absolutely shreds the big bots. This puts him in the top 10. Unfortunately for Pearl, she can never get her heat up enough, only dealing puny amounts of damage per shot. But fortunately, her hyper super deals a crazy amount of damage, finally sniping the final sniper bots in 37th place. Larry and Lori have two very different roles here. Lori is used to clean up a few bots on the bottom, while Larry takes down the swarmier enemies. When facing the big bot, Lori acts as an ammo generator for Larry, who acts as the main damage dealer here. Together, they place 36th place. A few precise Angela shots and supers allow him to take down the lower health bots with ease. Even better, his supers can stack on top of each other, allowing him to chain supers, deal tons of damage per shot, and quickly make work of the enemies. Unfortunately, it's not enough and puts him in 41st place. Barry's cream sits on the ground for so long, letting him use 1 ammo per enemy, which is super useful. All he has to do from here is spam attacks and supers, and eventually he'll clear the entire cave. This lands him in 18th place. Shade has some of the best mobility in the entire game, but unfortunately his damage just isn't enough. His slow unload speed really hurts him, but makes up for how fast he can travel. Until he has to stand still, then he's at the mercy of his reload speed. Shade gets 61st place. Meatball suffered through this entire thing. The only thing he has to damage enemies is his attack, which has an insufferable reload speed and damage. Fortunately, his star power lets his super increase his reload speed slightly, but it was just not enough. Even worse is that his gadget was only useful twice in taking out a few bots, as it deals less damage in an attack. So for the remaining 2 minutes, all he could do was spam his shots. He gets dead last. 2 well-timed Mortis hyper supers can clear all 4 bots at once, and then everyone else very quick with his super. Unfortunately, once he gets to the big bot, he deals almost no damage. Mortis places 71st. Tara gets some of the best abilities for this, as her super can pull bots in, then gets pierced by her main attack. At the same time, her shadows can deal a ton of damage. With a few clever supers, Tara finds herself in 19th place. Somehow, Jean does even worse than Poco. 2 precise hypercharged supers lets him grab all 4 bots, only taking 1 extra ammo each to take out. From here, Vengeful Spirits does a lot of work on the mini bots, but otherwise, Jean only has a weak main attack and super to deal his damage. Jean pulls up in 88th place. Max gains more reload speed by moving, but if she moves too much, she has the chance to miss a bullet, which I really do not like the odds of. Despite having a super fast reload speed and movement speed, she does not deal enough damage to take out everyone in a quick time. Max places 74th. Mr. P's porters do a significant amount of work below on the first 4 puncher bots and even more on the big bots. This was recorded before the big nerf, so they lasted forever on the map, which was very nice to see. Either way, Mr. P placed 15th place. Sprout was a pain in the ass to get right. What he had to do was throw a hyper super, use his transplant gadget, push the bot into the hypercharge area, and hope and pray that it does at least 2000 damage. Sprout then used the rest of his attacks to charge more supers and hypercharges to replace the old hypercharges. He got 59th place. Byron used a combination of attacks, supers, gadgets, and star powers to take out the first 4 bots, then went to use every pierce shot on the swarm to maximize damage on the big bot with his supers. Even though it's super satisfying to watch, Byron only gets 64th place. Squeak's attack can just barely clip the boxers, letting him take them out in only 4 shots. The remaining bots of the training cave were then subjected to Squeak super after Squeak super after Squeak super. He gets 12th place. Lou is as cool as he is, slow. His super deals negligible damage, though it covers a pretty large area. All he had to do was spam attacks onto the boss robot, and every super was left to the mini and shooter bots. Eventually, he finished in 63rd place. Lucky for Ruffs, his hyper super deals exactly 4000 damage, or in other words, enough to take down the first 2 bots and a sniper. All he had to do from here was knock the big bot into the little ones and clear the rest of the cave in 50th place. I found the most optimal route for Buzz was to take out the first 2 on the right and then the left 2, and then work his way up till he reaches the minis, who can then be swept through with Buzz's piercing attack. Although this was fast, his super remains useless and taking out General Chungus. Buzz gets 58th place. Fang Fang shows us how he's not to be messed with. A few good supers later, he can get to the big boss really quick. If standing in just the right way, he can successfully hit 2 popcorn kernels with corn fu onto the big bot and 1 from his hyper super. Otherwise, he clears it in only 52nd place. All Eve had to do was spam babies everywhere she goes. She can have as many down as she wants at a time, so it's a repeat cycle of nailing the bot with eggs, then throwing down her children as quick as she can. Eve gets 44th place. Janet's drop the base gadget deals 2000 damage in total, which is actually pretty good value. I debated whether her super was actually valuable to use or not, since it only deals 75% of a normal attack, but I decided it was marginally better if I hit at least 3 bombs. Despite this, she gets farted on and lands in 75th place. Otis's run was pretty standard, as Hypershock's one-tap fighter bots and Fat Splatter can easily handle everyone else. There's not much to say for a boring-ass brawler. 65th place. Buster is a very good boy. His super was used once to help take out the sniper bots, but that's it. His pull gadget is incredibly useful for bringing the boss closer to the swarm as his main attack pierces. Slowly but surely, Buster gets 81st place. Gray has the same reload speed as Buster and even less damage, so you already know how this will go. His portals were good for moving around like twice, but otherwise he only had his attack and grand piano at his disposal. 86th place. RT deals a crap ton of damage per attack, but his reload speed really comes back to bite him. He can clear everything in a pretty respectable time, but it's not nearly enough and only gets him 53rd place. Willow gets shafted at the very beginning, needing 2 attacks per robot. The swarm is cleared a bit easier with a very cheeky super to save ammo, but otherwise she's tickling the big bot over the course of 1 minute and 51.2 seconds. She gets 84th place. Wasim just has an attacking gadget to use, which in a test like this is not nearly enough to place high. Wasim saves a bit of time clipping the sniper bot through a wall, but in the end only gets 78th place. There are 4 trillion different ways to do chucks, but the most effective way I found was to knock the bots back in the beginning to pierce them, ram himself into the big bot over and over, stealing their ammo, then use 1 attack per row of minis and ghost train the sniper. Chuck finished in 30th place. Charlie's super with digestive deals an absurd amount of damage to the big bot, but I found it's only effective twice. So with the help of her spiders and an insanely fast reload speed, she crawls her way into 27th place. Monkey with Record Smash really excels in this challenge. He was made for this. Unfortunately, his horrendously slow reload speed makes him take ages to get any damage in. Miko gets 76th place. Melody can dash around super quickly and almost always has full notes surrounding her. I found that supering into a wall took less frames and was far more efficient than supering around the big bots. A gadget later and she places in the top 10. I found Lily's run to be especially fun to play. Lily's repot gadget actually gets some love here, letting her quickly traverse around. She deals a ton of damage in a short time, so she gets 46th place. Clancy's whole kit is around dealing absurd amounts of damage, and that's just what he does. All he's got to do is spam yellow button and win. He gets top 10. Mo needs to be precise when shooting shots, as 1 wrong move and he only deals 15 damage. Fortunately, most of his damage was done through his super and making use of his very small attack and the boss's super thick hitbox. Mo gets 48th place. Similar to Nita, Juju throws down Gregory to clear the bottom few bots and works on finishing off the Stormier ones. With the power of a familial bond and the ground effect, she gets 43rd place. Ollie can only make 1 bowl of cereal since he can't afford any more after this abysmal run. Though he does get to make use of his kick push star power to gain a bit more speed. Since his super takes away half his ammo, the best course of action was to use up all his ammo, then super right as there was 0 to mitigate losses. After an excruciating 2 minutes and 7 seconds, Ollie gets 89th place. Finks uses his super as a permanent rage spell, giving him a bit more reload speed whenever he stands in it, making sure to squeeze as much value from each attack as he can, and a few well-timed gadgets, he gets 68th place. Lumi can spam out shots incredibly fast. I found her super was really only useful for taking out single targets since there's a huge delay between attacking and supering, which I just didn't think was worth it. I know Kairos did this test faster, but it was impossible to recreate. She gets 22nd place. Spike farts all over the competition, making sure not to waste a single needle. Popping pincushions is especially useful in dealing damage as it deals over 30,000 if everything lands. Spike gets in the top 10. If you look at training cave speedruns, Crow is always used. But with all these new hypercharges, is he still the fastest? Well, you'll just have to wait and see. He gets in the top 10. For being an assassin whose only purpose is to deal a ton of damage, Leon does dog shit. His hyper super gives him a ton of speed, but that's about all it's used for. His slow reload speed just does not help the boy and puts him in 79th place. Sandy's super, just like Lou, deals almost no damage at all. It can take out the swarm pretty quick and the sniper, but otherwise it's just there for looks. Low damage, low reload, Sandy gets 85th. Just like real Amber players, all she has to do is hold down auto aim and press the yellow button every now and then. She can use her gadget like she's Melody, but we all know she's not. Yeah. 40th place. Meg can get so many supers and hypers off, it's not even funny. 1 ammo will get her a super and 2 will give her a hyper. Paired with her toolbox gadget, which gives her more reload, and she's a monster. Monster Truck Meg. 24th place. Surge's hyper came in clutch in the beginning, and he used his gadget to reload a bit of ammo from the sniper. From here, he just slowly but surely pushed the bot to the swarm. Unfortunately, he just does not have the reload speed to make it too far. He gets 77th place. Chester's time could have been a lot better. It was all up to RNG, and this was the best attempt I got. In the perfect world, candy beans would give him speed at the beginning and reload on the boss, and every super would be Salamaki. But the chances of that happening are, let me do the math, 0.00000025. 32nd place. Deal with it. You might think Cordelius' super is useless, but he actually gets a faster reload speed while inside the Shadow Realm. So by soloing the boss out, he can squeeze a bit more damage out. Cord places in 72nd place. Kit can just barely hit 2 boxer bots at once with an attack, and each super was used to get around a bit easier. They don't attach the bots, so it makes his job as simple as aim and hit. Kit gets 66th place. Most of Draco's damage comes from a super, which he can continuously cycle through. While he can expose himself to the big bots and deal a lot more damage, it was not worth leaving the suit each time he wanted to use it. Draco gets 55th place. Kenji precisely uses dashes and slashes to slice through the robots, making sure to super perfectly in the swarm using his Study the Blade star power and, well, spam auto aim on the big bot until it dies. Kenji gets 60th place. The 2 new brawlers, Kaze and Jaeyoung, have just been announced, so I figured I'd do their test as well. Jaeyoung's test was pretty straightforward. His healing ability actually does 200 more damage than the speed one, so I used the speed attack to mainly get from place to place faster, and his healing attack and damaging gadget whenever I could. Otherwise, his supers were essentially useless, and it was just up to his main attack. Kaze is really complex, and it made this super hard, but she has some great mobility and amazing damage. She uses her dash attacks to move around quickly and her hyper super to finish off the low health targets. Even though her dash super can take out the bots in one single super, it was a lot quicker to just use the dash attack instead. When facing the big bot, it made more sense to use her geisha attack as it dealt more damage than her other mode, and her ninja super since it dealt more damage than the other. Since the hypercharge is essentially useless with a ninja super, she solely used it with her geisha mode. The top 10 brawlers in order from slowest to fastest were Rico, Melody, Griff, Spike, Brock, Clancy, Maisie, Hank, Crow, and Mandy. Use code MOYO for a big, wet, sloppy kiss.